and he had those conservative viewpoints with the socialist angle.
I got to tell you,
that's dangerous, dude.
We are ripe for the socialist populists to come in, say no more mass migration, and if that's the one issue he says,
you're right.
That's it.
That's dangerous.
That's it.
Because you've taken one of the strongest positions that conservatives have. A lot of conservatives in the last election voted for immigration, and
not just that. The UK, right? If a UK populist socialist came out and said no more mass migration, same shit.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's globally, it's the most unpopular thing in all Western nations is mass migration. Now. People hate it. They loathe it. They don't want any more of it.
Yep.
And every year they hate it more than they did the last year. That's
dude, some guys listening right now, like,
I know,
fuck, this
I know, but here's the thing.
No, but you're right, dude. That would be
that's
you're
my warning. But that's my warning,
from the right. You're literally taking. I'm going to give you guys health care. Don't worry, you guys will be able to afford to go to the doctor, and I'm going to get rid of these goddamn immigrants, and we're going to have this stuff. And we're
done. For us. You're done.
And we're going to nationalize all of that industry.
If the Bernie Sanders comes in, who's not Bernie Sanders, and just says no more mass migration, okay. It's a Koch brothers right-wing conspiracy to get underpaid labor in here. We want strong trade unions for our people here in the U.S., period. And I want that policy. He's in.
Yeah.
And he overwhelmingly they'll vote him in. And my warning here is that that's what's coming.
Well, in New York
let me tell you, you know what?
Yes, it is.
I literally said this like a month ago. I said, if Mamdani wins, be ready. The DNC is going to employ his strategy in the 2028 election. He fucking won. The Democrats now have a game plan on how to win elections. Namely, they had a handicap. It's New York City. Right. Republicans don't do so well over there. Fine. Right. But now they have an actual tangible win to put under their belt. That's why a lot of these fucking guys, Hassan Abi and all these guys, fucking celebrating. Yes, we got it. Because New York City is the most influential city. Yep. And he was able to win a lot of even conservatives to come over. Yep. And obviously he's saying the immigrant thing. But if you get a socialist like a Mamdani that says, oh, yeah, by the way, we're not bringing these fucking immigrants in.
No, in fact,
there's
a moratorium. There's going to be a moratorium.
Yeah, there's a moratorium. I'm a Christian. Yep. We're not bringing in any of these motherfuckers anymore. Dude,
it's over.
It's over.
But then the question becomes,
and he's white?
Right.
It's over.
He would. I don't even think.
It's
I
really
don't even think he would have to be white.
He wouldn't have to be. No.
If it was the case that he said no more mass migration, it's never going to happen. And I have the influences of both houses. They're willing day one to sign this bill in, and it gives us an immigration moratorium day one. That fucker's in.
Yeah.
And they're going to get all their social programs
because he took the strongest position from the GOP right there with immigration. Well, that's what got Trump in. Like people forget, they're in the cats and dogs.
What you're saying is people are more for ending mass migration than they are against socialized medicine.
People will give anything to stop mass migration.
Yeah. Because
you're getting happens after that.
You're getting conservatives and the Democrats.
Yeah, of course. I know
that would be collapse.
Like the negative part of raising taxes is not as upsetting.
I want the Renaissance. I'm just telling you that scenario is collapse. That leads to collapse.
That's what I'm saying is because when you get to that scenario, let's look at New York as a microcosm, right? New York in the 70s and 80s had like the biggest crime problems, right?
Yep.
In the 90s, they got that fixed
because they aborted everybody.
Right. And then
I'm serious. That's what happened. They aborted everybody.
There's data on this. Yeah.
And then after
Giuliani went really hard on crime in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. And then after 9/11, things started to slip a little bit, right? And if they have this guy in power and he does start doing these things and people are at the beginning, oh, this is hunky dory. This is nice. And then they start to see like, oh no, it still does favor certain groups of people. They get mad. They start getting violent, right? What happens first in that type of scenario is that you get organized crime comes up and starts actually having some success because people don't want to follow that system at some point. Right. And then you have to have that new system. So I'm saying that in between.
Well, that's what happened in this city. This city was essentially run by the mafia. There's a point.
I wish it was.
There's a point.
Will say that.
Run by the mafia.
I wish it still was.
There were crime sprees that started happening in the 1990s, like from the 1970s and 1990s. Once the mafia moved out, and then there's this point where the Las Vegas Police Department is not big enough to police the city, and then all of a sudden. Then after there's this crime wave, this one guy robbed 6 casinos at one time. It's a really, really crazy story. And then once publicly traded companies start taking over, then that power vacuum is now brought in a new tax base.
Right. And then the people get used to that kind of situation, right? And they're good with it. But like that's what I'm saying is like going from one extreme to another is what happens. Then people are like, we don't want any of that, and then they have to bring in a new
No,
system.
I agree.
But it takes a whole generation.
I agree.
Least.
What I'm talking about Renaissance is the slow social move, which can turn into a large burn quickly. Right. And usually these are over technological changes, or they're over huge
like
social changes. And you can see renaissances happen very, very quickly.
Yeah. AI could be a huge catalyst for that.
Like 10 years.
Could be.
Because it can educate people.
Could be.
But before we run out of time, I have to ask you about this because
I got one more super chat, but go ahead.
This might be the funniest position you have. You are not opposed to men and women's sports. Can you explain why?
Okay.
I've heard this take
I
a
know
few
you like
times.
this.
Well, here's the
It's a nice
thing.
reminder.
Yeah, here's the
To
thing.
women.
I think that it's a great reminder that 12-year-old soccer players can beat professional teams who are female, and it's a great reminder to them that the patriarchy is benevolent, and it reminds them of just the disparity between the strength levels of men and women when you see 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds kick the shit out of these women in their own sports leagues. And then when fully grown men just put on a wig and go out there and crush them, and women were the ones who voted for that shit. I say, take your medicine. You voted for the shit. You wanted all the transgender shit, and now they're in your sports. I say, let them deal with it. And you know what? It's the radical turf feminists, that the trans exclusionary feminists, still radical feminists.
Yep.
They're like, no, this is for women. And I'm like, look, fuck them. You wanted all these women to vote, and they voted for this shit.
Yep.
And now you're getting your heads kicked in. You're getting your asses kicked. You're getting wrecked by everybody. Right? Men just go in, they put on a wig, they kick the holy shit out of you.
And
They break
feminism
your
was
face.
the Trojan horse from which the T community came in.
Yeah, they break
Feminism
your
was the spearhead.
exactly. They break your face, and it's like, deal with it. And what we need is women collectively. And I say,
gotta get Aaron Clary on.
I
this.
say continue.
This
I say
podcast.
continue. Don't no mercy on this until women collectively vote it out. Because that's the only way they fucking learn.
So I thought about it at first when you said it, and then I was like, yo, what if they let men in the WNBA and they just started killing everyone? Like without just getting punched on constantly.
First step,
And then I'd be like, yo, I would the first trans
Isn't the
person to get
dildo
the
shit
WNBA
the funniest shit in the world?
Yeah,
The WNBA.
I
They
would-
just throw the
Made a
dick.
fortune betting on it.
Do you understand the kind of numbers I would watch that? The first trans person.
Yeah.
If
in
there was men in the
WNBA
sport, it would
just
make it watchable.
Well, the
crushing
thing
everyone.
is,
First
like,
dunk ever.
Yeah.
it's like for men, it's no worries, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to see female linebackers, right?
Yeah.
Like the
There is no rule
the
in the
F to
NFL
M.
that women cannot.
Yeah,
play.
right. The F
There's
to
nothing
M.
on the books that they can't join.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
But the F to M's, right? Sure. Come on into the sports leagues. Absolutely. I can't wait to see you get fucking snapped in half by these giant 600-pound fucking gargantuan monsters.
Yeah.
But women, well, you voted for it. Have fun with it, because combat sports for men going to be just fine.
Yeah.
All of the contact sport for women, it's fucked.
Cooked.
And it's like, that's what you fucking get.
Let me
Even
ask you
even
this,
chess is segregated.
Andrew, because you were mentioning Christianity in the United States, and I had like a big debate where I've been like going back, and you guys all know I'm Muslim, right? But I'm not a retarded these idiots, some of these guys, because like there's a difference between like sensible guys. Yeah. So like there's like sensible people, right, that are Muslim and that understand certain things, and there's the idiots that are low IQ. And I try to tell them, America is
Like
a
all
Christian
of
nation.
Pakistan.
Yeah, a lot of yeah.
Like all of it.
Yeah, pretty much. And I tell them, like, they get so pissed off at me. I had many debates. I say, America's a Christian country. We're guests here.
Yeah, I saw that debate.
respect
I saw that
the
debate
country.
with Sneako.
Yeah,
So I had a chatter from your chat come in and ask me, would you be willing to have that same debate with Sneako if Myron, hosted it, because you have more knowledge on it? And actually, I'm open to that if you
Sure.
ever
I mean,
are.
yeah, I can make it. I don't, because the thing is like when I was having that discussion with Sneako, he didn't really like debate my point so much as he would just ask me questions about like why I thought the way that I did. And I was like, look, this country was founded by white Christian men. Yeah. Like the separation, it's separation of church and state so that the state will not corrupt the church and vice versa. It wasn't the separation of church of mosque and state. Like this wasn't, and they always reference like, yeah, the Muhammad people or whatever, like they're allowed in too. That's true. But that doesn't mean that they want them to run the country and be the influence. They didn't expect people to be praying at Times Square and, being on loudspeakers saying like, we're going to take over and everything else like that. Like Christians have every right to feel threatened and be like, yo, this is our country. You guys are here as guests. We don't want this. And then the example I gave because they got all butthurt when I said like the example about if you went to Mecca and tried this, they'd be mad at you. Okay, fine. Let's use another example. Let's use the United Arab Emirates, a very westernized, a westernized Arab country, Muslim country, right? 90% immigrants in Dubai. If a bunch of Christians, 100 Christians went to the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, and tried to pray, the police would tell them, get the fuck out of here, right? So I don't think it's appropriate for Muslims
you think
to be
that's
Times Square.
okay?
What to
And you as a Muslim
them,
are not offended
yeah.
by that. Oh, you think that's fine?
Well, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't mind it, but I know Muslims there would be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but
And
how
this
is that not
this is a westernized Muslim country, by the way.
But how is this not a consistent position from you? Because you don't have a problem with the people in the United Arab Emirates saying that, right?
Yeah, no.
Exactly. It's their country.
Let's
but they have a problem with me. When
Right,
I
they have a
say,
problem with you.
They
Yeah,
get mad at
exactly.
me when I say, well, if you guys wouldn't tolerate this in one of the most westernized Muslim countries, why the fuck should Christians tolerate you guys praying in Times Square?
Right.
And they're like, well, we have freedom of religion for church and state, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is still a Christian country. How's it a Christian country? I'm like, bro, when you swear in, you put your hand on a fucking Bible. You don't put your hand on a Quran.
but like again, let's extrapolate this
we
even
want a modern
further.
Crusade.
What would happen with mass immigration in China? Like they would forcibly kick you out.
Shut the
Mass immigration. You extend your visa in Russia. What do they do to you? They forcibly kick you out. Let's extrapolate even further.
All we have to do is look at what happened with the Uyghurs, right?
Yeah. Let's take it even further. Voter ID. Well, for some reason, they're able to host free and fair elections in Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Germany, all these other countries. They have voter ID, but for some reason in this country, we can't do that because then it's not free and fair elections. So it's like it's exactly what you said. You're using the idea of like, well, this is a Christian nation, and these other people are guests, and if you went to that nation that was Islamic, then they would not accept it. It's the same kind of situation. It's like people who are sitting there. Look at how Mexico treats Nicaragua when those people try to come in illegally, but how, and then look at the way we treat Mexicans when they come in here illegally, and just see the difference, like the massive difference.
And the other thing too is
Our
like
benevolence is used as a weapon against us.
When I was having this discussion with Sneako, and I want to get your take on it, Andrew, I'm just giving you my full position on it, and then you can add to it because you're obviously more knowledgeable about Christianity. Like the thing I said, he made the argument. He said, well, this is the freedom of religion. Like we can practice here and all this. I said, cool, you can practice, but why not just pray in the mosque? And the other thing is, just because you could doesn't mean you should. Right. And he's like, well, yeah, it's all a bunch of, them boys propaganda demonizing Muslims. And I said, I agree with you. There is a lot of propaganda from them guys against Muslims. So why would you exacerbate the problem and confirm the fucking stereotypes? Why would you do that when there's plenty of mosques all across New York City? Did you really need to pray in Times Square and be on the speaker and everything? Oh, well, they have church bells. Well, they can do that because this is their fucking country. Right. I don't think it's appropriate to have the Adhan play 5 times in Dearborn, Michigan. I don't think that's appropriate.
Well, they're a bunch of hypocrites anyway. So
yeah, but
Muslims,
I'll turn it to you, bro. Give your position on it. But these are the arguments I made, and they get so pissed off at me.
At the one hand, they'll say, "Oh, it's secular. You can't stop us from, from our religion." And then the other hand, if they have a secular institution like the public schools that they take advantage of and send their kids to, they go in and they say, "Oh no, you're not allowed to teach them A, B, C, D, and E." And we're going to stand firm against that inside of this secular institution.
The alphabet community.
Yeah, so they're like, they'll impose their will while at the same time claiming that there's a secular bridge which allows them to have the religion here. So it's like, you're fucking hypocrite. Shut up. That's all bullshit. The Christians are the only ones who are consistent on this, who say, when you're talking about separation of church and state, that was never the intention of our founders. They were saying there couldn't be a national religion, that the 10th Amendment governed that their states could have religions, which is why all the fucking states did have state religions after the Constitution was ratified. Almost all of them.
Just quickly, though.
They almost all had a state religion. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Almost every single state
post
the ratification of the Constitution, look it up right now, had a state religion. And by the way, if you weren't a member of that fucking religion, you couldn't vote. Even if you were a white person who owned property in good standing, you couldn't vote unless you swore that you were a member of that religion. And that's what the 10th Amendment was there for. Before that, we had the Articles of Confederation. The Articles of Confederation, that was a free-for-all, okay? It was a free-for-all. The states all adopted their own religion. They had trouble with interstate commerce, and they had trouble with rebellion. They had trouble raising troops. They settled on the Constitution so that there could be a federal government which could assist with those problems. The compromise was that the federal government wouldn't take one of those state religions and make it the national religion, thus stopping them from having their own religions. That's what the 10th Amendment was about. It was about states being allowed to have their own religion. So like these people are fucking illiterate, stupid, ahistorical retards.
Yeah, and the argument I made when I was saying, like I said, look, the Constitution and a lot of the incorporating documents were based on the Bible, right? When you're sworn into a federal position or a government position for that matter, you're sworn in on the Bible. Like the reality is, like a lot of the unalienable traits, a lot of this stuff comes from the Bible. Like, so to sit there and say this isn't a Christian country when it was founded by Protestants is ridiculous to me. And it's like,
of course it was. And by the way, you had thousands of contributors to the Constitution. Their argument
to me was this isn't a Christian country. That is the foundation that they had to debate on. I was like, you guys are fucking stupid.
And that's because there was famous court cases where it was the case, in fact, that we did allow some Muslims to come in a very small percentage. Okay. But we got to remember that we have to have a historical context of the time.
What was that? I think I know. What's the name of that? Like that agreement or that case law that you?
I don't remember off the top of my head. But the thing is like, but we can look at the context of the time. The context of the time is these guys didn't feel threatened by a couple of Muslims coming to the nation. Okay, it wasn't a problem, right? Yeah. They were, and by the way, they usually weren't coming to stay long term. The citizenship itself was a very rare thing for foreigners to have at this time. Mm-hmm. So when you're discussing this, let's keep in mind the historic standard that all of these people were English and French for the most part. Yeah. Almost every single one of them. They didn't even like Germans. They didn't like the Dutch. They didn't even like other white people. They definitely didn't like fucking Mohammedans. Okay. Yeah. They definitely didn't like
That's
Mohammedans.
Funny. That's what they called them.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't like them.
Yeah.
And it was very obvious that they didn't. And it wasn't just a bunch of deists that put this in as some secular fantasy so that we could all live together and sing Kumbaya. There was thousands of contributors to the Constitution, and most of them were Christians. So that's it.
So would you say, because this is what I was trying to argue as well. I was saying, look, this like removal of religion wasn't of like, saying that, oh, it's more secular, like removing the church and state. It was more about making sure that there weren't like Christian infighting versus allowing other religions to just come in and take over.
It was about allowing. So we had the Articles of Confederation before that, which was a free for all. It allowed each state to have their own religion.
Yeah.
They had their own currency. They could govern.
But it was all Christianity, right?
It was all Christian.
It was all Protestants, basically.
Catholic.
Yeah.
Like one Catholic.
But that's still Christian.
Yeah.
Right.
Precisely.
So the thing
and that's what I was trying to explain to him. This was more about containing infighting within the church.
And
versus...
the Constitution was designed so that we had a currency and we could raise a single militia and we could actually defend all of the states. Yeah. You know, otherwise, how do you defend 13? It was like 13 independent nations, basically. Right. And so once we had the Constitution come into place, there was compromises which were made, like the Second Amendment, for instance, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep their arms shall not be infringed, right? What does that put in there for? Well, it tells you, saying a well-regulated militia we know is necessary to the security of a free state because we have to call them before, right? But we may not be able to arm the militia. So the best way is to make sure that the people themselves can have arms so that they can be called anytime between these ages. And you can look up the Dick Act, and before the Dick Act, what they used to do is they would say, okay, you're 16 years old, you're in the militia. Okay, we can call you up whenever we want. Now, moving past that, when you get into the 10th Amendment territory, right? Remember the First Amendment, this is saying there can't be a national religion. 10th Amendment says that everything in the Constitution, which is not given as the authority to the federal government, goes to the prospective states. It goes to the prospective states.
Wait, say that again. All the authority in this document, which we have not given and appropriated to the federal government,
goes to the states.
Goes to the states. Yeah. The states get to make their own policies for these things. Well, there was never any authority given to the United States government over the policy of states themselves being able to have their own religion, right? And they all did. Almost all of them did. Post ratification of the Constitution, it took years to eliminate that. So it's like, no, he's wrong. It was set up as a Christian nation, and those are the historic facts.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
That's more detailed.
I got one more paper for you. Oh. I don't think we can do 3 of these, but can everyone around the table name 3 great books to read? None of your own, please. Thank you. Let's just do 1.
I got 20. Go ahead, Myron. What do you think?
Shit.
Or 3, whatever you want.
I'm trying to go to Jake. I'm thinking.
I'd say Mere Christianity is a good one. Orthodoxy and the Religion of the Future, and also The Tragedy of Great Power Politics by Mearsheimer.
Mein Kampf.
There we go.
There it is.
There he is. We've been waiting for him all day.
Yeah.
Manosphere.
Yes, it's written by the Austrian painter. Go ahead.
On resistance to evil.
Okay.
the history of philosophy, and of course, my favorite book, The Hobbit.
But the
there we go.
Durant-
You know what? I have to, Andrew. This is what
The
they
history
threw
of
at me
philosophy.
too. Look at the 1797 Treaty of Tripoli. Some idiot gave me that shit too.
Yeah, Tripoli.
We can scroll up. They're saying, oh, it's not a Christian nation because of they use that
The
as
Treaty
well.
of Tripoli. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
What
was
is
fighting
your?
against the Barbary pirates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing
That was
is,
more about appeasing pirates,
Yeah.
right?
Well, well, actually, there's more to it. So this was just a letter. They're just referencing a letter.
Okay.
That's it. And in the letter, it said that there's a wall of separation between the church and the state. This was something that which was very famously stated. But the Treaty of Tripoli itself, right, has no bearing on the 10th Amendment at all. And by the way, this conventionally had nothing to do with the Constitution of the United States, but was just a single person's interpretation. So it's like that. What is the treaty?
I'm glad someone in the chat put that there.
What in the Treaty of Tripoli changed the Constitution?
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, you're talking about some thing that we had between Syria. Like
It came up a million times during my
Yeah,
discussion.
Like
and I was
what?
what the fuck
What
is
in
this?
it? What in it changed any sort of policy in the United States when it came to the U.S. Constitution? Nothing. By the way, post Treaty of Tripoli, I think that there were still states that had state religions. I think there was clear up until when was the last state shrug it off? What was it? I don't even think it was terribly long ago. Like, I mean, there's been states with religions for an awful long time in this
I
nation.
believe it. I believe it. There's lots of state laws that like never got, like in Texas, if you steal a cow, you can be put on death row for that.
Yeah,
it's still a
Steal
capital
a
crime.
horse.
Like, yeah,
Steal a horse. It was hangable.
yeah. That's
You
why
know?
the funny story. That's why the Texas Rangers were created, because of cow stealing.
Yeah, I don't remember the.
They don't like when you say that. Though.
that and killing Comanches and
Well, I wish I
Native
had
Americans.
the.
That was what
Well, those
Texas
guys are the worst Native Americans, Comanches.
Yeah, I wish I had the reference because I don't remember when it was that the last state shrugged off the actual like
State
this is
religion?
the state religion.
Yes.
I
No,
need
and
to look
I
it up.
appreciate that, Andrew, because like I had my position, but I didn't think about the 10th Amendment and like look into it like that, because that no one ever talks about that stuff, because this is a topic that people don't really want to touch on, because like it's controversial to say America's a Christian country nowadays, and obviously Muslims get mad
Even
when I
though
say that.
nobody questioned that for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Nobody.
But like now it's a
Yeah.
controversial take.
Oh, this is gonna be. This is funny. So this interracial couple is going viral after this wife explained the way she serves her husband, and even gets on her knees to tie his shoes. This has led to a massive discussion about what a woman should and shouldn't do for her man. The wife says, stimulate his ego. Men are wired to lead, provide, and feel needed. When a man feels admired, respected, and trusted, he steps into his full masculine power. We have feminine superpower that activates the masculine energy. It's not control, aggression, or manipulation. It's submission and confidence. When I soften, let him lead and make him feel like my security. Let's see what's going on. He desires to pour into me emotionally, financially, spiritually. He wants to give me the world. Men aren't naturally stimulated to provide for a hard masculine hyper independent woman. He works all day so he can come home. I make sure he's reminded exactly who he is, our world. I send him off like a king and greet him like one returning from battle. Submission isn't weakness, it's strength, it's strategy, it's feminine energy mastered. So this the couple.
Well, they tripping because she's black.
Yeah.
And she's on the knees, so they like, massa and shit. The internet gonna make their jokes.
African
Yeah, that's on a job.
I bet you she's doing better than the hood rats.
100%.
Oh, absolutely. The ones that complain about it, their lives are really fucked up.
Yeah.
And
They ain't got. they
if
ain't
you
got
look at the nigga
nothing
face, the
close
nigga
to
look like he confident. So what she's saying true. A woman can make you feel like you are a king. Like they can. They do have that superpower. We talk a lot of shit about women, but they do have positive. A good woman can make a man feel no longer human, like a god. He can do no wrong.
She kind of bad too, bro.
Yeah, she is. He got a dub. He got a W, man.
W Mans. I ain't even mad at him.
Look like she using her own hair too.
Yeah, yeah.
They got a million
That's the
W.
best part.
Last one.
Yep.
Retired corn star Lana Rhoades is pleading with every adult site to delete over 400 scenes after she broke down in tears during a 20-minute speech where she claimed she was groomed. Rhoades said, I was 19, broke and groomed. I want every video gone so my son never sees his mom like that.
Oh, so when you're 19 and broke and you need the money, oh, it's okay then. Now you got your fucking bag, and now you're all fucking mad because you want all of that shit gone. Accountability, you stupid bitch.
Shit.
He went all the way in.
Yeah, he
all
did.
the way.
But it's sad though, man, because this is the end result. And a lot of women, it's so crazy. We see a lot of women right now that's young, under 25. They're portraying that woman on the left.
Yeah.
But what's so sad about this, in the end, it always ends on the right, the aftermath.
Yeah.
That's the future. It's
Depression.
the inevitable truth.
They regret there's, but you know the worst part? When you do P stuff
Mm-hmm.
online, especially, you sold your rights to these companies. So no matter how much you cries online, they own the shit.
They ain't gonna give a
So
fuck.
they don't care. You're
And
cooked.
They can re-up that shit in 2050.
Yep.
And it's so crazy too. Looking at this
keep
just
it
makes me think about how much change in time. Because you see women like this in Brickell and stuff.
Look at OnlyFans.
Yeah. And it look,
Imagine in 5 years,
Yes.
10
bro.
years.
but today they look like life is perfect. They on
Yeah.
every yacht. They with every
'Cause
celebrity.
nobody thinks
And
about the future.
it's
Nobody
so easy to get-
plans
yeah.
for the future.
So
Yeah.
easy to get caught up in this right here. But for anyone watching, the right, it exists. Whether she's going to be alone or not, it's
So-
going to happen with regret.
And what and the tragedy is they always die alone and they never have love. If a woman starts out right, marries one man, serves her family, serves her kids, live a clean life, her entire life she's loved. Her kids, the grandkids,
Oh, man, yeah.
she will always be cherished, always looked after. And when she does die, she's gonna have people that love her. Love will never. She will always have love. But these women,
You can throw this bitch in the trash can.
these women,
Bro.
it's not gonna end
Remember there was
good.
a time last year when there was
not gonna
P stars
end good.
dying like almost every day.
Yeah, you're right.
like, what's happening? Drugs, depression, taking their own lives. It's because that's the end result. They're depressed, bro. They don't know what to do. The money isn't enough. You know, the friends aren't really there for them, and the men that they have in life are broke or either weirdos. So it's like they have nobody to turn to other than their own faults.
And what
it's
you
not
saying-
their purpose. The money is not a woman's purpose.
Yes.
To be cherished, to be loved, and to be needed is a woman's purpose.
Yep.
And when they get old after all that banging and pornos and trains and all this other stuff, then they just left to dry.
And this is why I feel we're about to see a mass exodus of women that Americans have never witnessed, because porn
Absolutely.
culture has never been popularized. It's always been something that was taboo, something you're ashamed
Secret.
of. But now it's so open, you got at least, I don't want to put out, maybe at least 10 to 20% of women have engaged in porn in some way, these young women. Dude, that's 10 to 20% of the country that's going to be suicidal, on drugs, etc. in the next 10, 15 years. It's
They're
inevitable.
raising kids, bro.
Yeah.
That's the major issue.
And another thing, Gary, we see now children. So it's something we didn't see growing up. Children talking about how their mom was on OnlyFans and they happen to drop out of school. Well, it's a new industry. We're seeing it in results. These women originally didn't have kids. So like we're seeing it in results of having OnlyFans in our culture. And we're seeing kids
and
dropping
those
out.
kids
the
become
crack babies.
LGBT,
Yep.
start
Like the
becoming
crack
all.
babies.
Yep.
Just like the crack babies. Now these babies, who knows the levels?
Of what's going to happen.
So basically, what it comes down to is this, fellas: women don't know what's best for them. They need to be fucking told what to do. They're nothing more than big kids.
Yep.
Tell a kid no, it will start pounding. It will start fucking screaming. If you have a logical discussion with a woman and you check her, make her with logic, all of a sudden, guess what? She's gonna start pounding. She's gonna start screaming. They're big kids and they should be treated as such.
And the last thing, she did say the main reason she want that gone because she don't want her son to see it. Dude, how many? And I know we
she
all
doesn't
choose to
want
watch the content.
accountability.
But how many boys watch her content that were sons? So it's like, man, it's so easy to destroy the world till it's your turn to face your own morality.
Did you see Neon and Camilla?
Yeah.
Did you see that one? Camilla was out there, and the 9-year-olds are like, "Aren't you that OnlyFans girl?" It's
Yes.
like 9-year-olds know
That's sad,
that she's
yeah.
OnlyFans. I mean, come on, man, that's fucking bullshit. Did we have that clip of Sneako and his mom telling him he can't see his parents for Christmas? I wanted to end with that one before we get. Yeah. Let's.
So if I haven't seen my family for a long time and they're all gathering during Christmas, what should I do? Don't celebrate. Don't go.
There
hell?
we go.
They too strict.
Yeah, the Cliff Notes version is the Imam tells Sneako that he can't go see his parents and his family on Christmas. Listen to this propaganda by this camel rider. And mom, yeah, look at him.
If I haven't seen my family for a long time and they're all gathering during Christmas, what should I do? Don't celebrate. Don't go see my family? See them another time. They're all gathering at that time. I can't even go on that date?
I cannot tell you to go. I can't. I'm not saying that new reavers don't do it. And I understand why they do it. Because of pressure, because they're used to it, because they're family, like you said. I'm not going to see them any other time in the year. I tell them, okay, if you're going to go, go. But I cannot tell you that it's halal. Before committing a sin, fear Allah.
Stop right there. Before committing a sin, fear Allah. To go see your parents is now a sin in Islam. Listen, I have all the respect for the royal family. I have all the respect for the House of Saud. But keep Islam in the Middle East, because what you see here is brainwashing. This is Sneako over here. This is a streamer who has made millions of dollars, has billions of views. As an American, he has made it as a capitalist. And what is he doing? He's supporting a communist in New York because they are both Muslims. Do you see what the problem here is? Just because you hate Israel doesn't mean you have to become a communist, Sneako. And this is a guy I used to manage. This is a guy I used to call up on the phone in 2024. Be like, Sneako, it's haram to vote for a woman. You can't put a whore in the White House. Obviously, talking about Camilla Parker or Harris. But he did the right thing. He backed Donald Trump. And Donald Trump returned the favor because who got unbanned from YouTube? Sneako. That never would have happened if Donald Trump was in office. But Sneako wants to give credit to Allah. So my question to you is, if Allah unbanned your goddamn YouTube, how come it didn't happen under the Joe Biden administration? Stop fucking supporting communists. Stop supporting this takeover agenda. You're an American. American capitalism made you who you are. Enough fucking game, Sneako. This is nonsense. You're gonna fucking pick your imam over your fucking family? Absolutely fucking disgusting.